Ain't no nothing. That carried me to this day, man. You can't say nothing about Elosevere Harvey. She off limits, man. We ain't playing them games.
Right.
You start.
Steve Harvey. The big relationship man talk got cheated on himself. A marriage that he thought was solid is soon to end. And what's crazier is the person that his wife was smashing behind his back is his freaking security bodyguard. On top of that, she's demanding as usual half of his hard-earned net worth for a $200 million, they say. Steve Harvey came out to address the matter saying, "As many of you know, I have recently discovered that my wife, soon-to-be ex-wife Marjorie Elaine Harvey, is having an affair with my personal security. I didn't want to think it was true, but I found out the hard way she's a dirty hoe, and I never want to see her again. I asked for privacy at this time, as I'm going through a tough time at the moment." Well, if Harvey himself got cheated on, what chance does regular dudes out there got? Let us know what you think in the comments.
We thought he was a dating guru with all his speeches and advice he gives. The irony is he got screwed over by his own wife, so what's the point of Ask Steve now? It's pretty useless when he can't keep his own house together. This is Steve's third divorce. You would assume that he would have learned his lesson. For a guy who talked about solid partnerships and marriage for the entirety of his career, this really is shocking. Relationship advice is a scam. You can be the perfect guy, do everything right, buy her everything under the sun, and with all that she still can betray you. It's pretty much a crapshoot when it comes to marriage, a flip of the coin literally. A 50% chance it will fail, just don't do it. If they told you your parachute had a 50% chance of failing, are you still going to jump out of the plane? Steve always talked about his wife like she was a queen, and he worshipped the ground she walked on. He seemed like a good man. If everything was in fact as it seemed, she will soon see that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Sometimes the ability to spot red flags can cost $200 million. Life lessons cost what they cost. His relationship advice will change for the betterment of every man. No pedestals, ever. Again. Wake up, guys. Never put your woman on a pedestal. Are there women who are honorable? Sure. But the odds of finding that 1 in a million women are worse than winning the lottery. Men need to find other things to fulfill their loneliness. No woman will ever fill that hole. And if she does, it's only for a short time and isn't real. Men often make dumb choices when they are lonely. Being a simp is just how some guys are made. They tend to attract masculine women who are basically gold diggers. I care more about the damage Steve has done to the black community with his relationship advice, which panders to women. He made millions from being a simp, and it's fair play to give half to the gold digger he attracted. I guess this is the result of the karma he had to pay for what he did to his ex-wife. He did her so wrong. He thought he was going to have a happily ever after hurting her and leaving her broke. Well, karma came to collect, and his payment was huge. I bet he loses so much money to this lady too. She doesn't deserve the money either. His ex-wife deserves it. Marjorie will pay her dues next. She's not getting away with anything either. What used to be a basic institution that everyone had to buy into in early adulthood is now becoming the last step into adulthood. This crisis is the direct result of so many feminists and solo mothers raising children with the help of family courts. How can we hold them accountable for this mess? A new study by the National Center for Family and Marriage Research has revealed that marriage in the United States has declined by nearly 60% in the last 5 decades. Until divorce law is reformed, marriages will continue to decline. That's what feminism, spoiled people, indoctrination, and gov policies have done to marriage. Not a difficult thing to reason out. It's important to note that as marriage goes, so goes the nation. Strong families are the foundation of any society. Hedonism always takes its toll. Women do not mature faster than men. They excel at social dynamics, and social dynamics are heavily rewarded through middle and high school, whereas nothing men excel at is rewarded. Additionally, women learn early that they have something men want, and they learn to manipulate men to take advantage of it. It is predatory, not more mature. Men could be just as predatory as women, but the law and social mores clamp down heavily on men's natural tendencies. If it weren't for misandrous teachers punishing and suppressing boys' natural talents, young boys would not appear so slow to mature. In antiquity, 18-year-old men wrote symphonies and built war machines and conquered nations. The only problem with Steve is that when you love somebody more than they love you, that's a problem. Can you understand the psychology of why she would get bored? You don't make her earn anything for all you give her. How foolish. Even the scriptures say you don't give pearls to swine, for they will travel them. Marjorie did this because she had been a player her whole life. In other words, she was about that money bag. He getting just what he had coming, He can't play the victim because what you put out will come. The universe will see to it. But you know what? Here's what I think. Marjorie is not going anywhere. She's too old to start over, even though she's still okay looking. But it's much easier for her to stay with Steve and spend his money. He will forgive her. He's obsessed with her. I don't see these two getting a divorce finalized. Steve is 66 years old, and Marjorie is turning 60 next month. They are both too old for all that. Unless they both think they're in their 20s. But if he doesn't have a prenup in place, then I believe he is playing it cool until he can figure out his financial situation so he doesn't take a big hit. I hope that's the case, at least. The root of a lot of problems in the world is a lack of personal accountability and humility, and modern Western women such as Marjorie lack both. Most of these women are not single by any means, and by that I mean without having at least a few men to a full roster of them. They're constantly out with different men, but the main thing is they're just being used for recreational fun. No man will wife up another man with a combative, self-serving attitude. Eventually, when they're older and their looks are fading, the realization will hit them like a brick to the face. It's too late for them at this point, and of course it will always be the men's fault. Guys, you don't have to settle for the table scraps from these modern women. Get your act together, grab a passport, and explore your options. I find it hilarious that women will choose the same type of man they complain about, and think they have nothing to do with the man they chose. The good men are invisible to you because you obviously have a love-hate relationship with being toxic, and that's what you attract. And now you are single by choice. The issue with feminism, however, is that it has evolved and transformed into a supremacist movement hell-bent on figuratively destroying the social and family structure of the larger part of the Western world. It is eradicating the concept of nuclear families. Men don't want to get married. Women want to take the role of the man in the house, forcing men to assume the role of women. We could go on forever, but in all honesty, women, it's now up to you if you want to do something to encourage more men to pursue marriage. Due to the fact that marriage will eventually become obsolete, there won't be as many kids around, and men and women will no longer connect in the same way. Modern women like Marjorie need to realize this, and I hope they will. One thing's for sure. Steve's career as a dating and relationship guru is pretty much over. I'm not sure how people are going to watch him give advice to other couples when he couldn't keep his own house in order. Unless he reverses the divorce or creates a narrative that makes him look like the good guy in this whole fiasco, he needs to think of doing something else to earn money. When you have a baby mama with 3 fatherless kids, you have to believe she is after something more than Steve. She was after his money, fame, and security for her kids. Sad, but sounds like karma, Steve. Your own flesh and blood couldn't even get the amount of love and affection you put into that thirst trap of a wife of yours. This lady is a gold digger, and he wanted a beautiful woman on his arm. He will pay dearly for the betrayal of his kids, because they were innocent in the entire story. These people both need healing. They like the way things appeared to the public, purely karmic, the families too. I will say that surrounding yourself with men who sell female services and marrying women whose ex-husbands are dope dealers is not the route I would have taken. I try not to be judgmental, and everyone has their preference, but those are some really head-scratching decisions that this guy made over the years. But I guess that just proves he's always been a simp. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know.